Fellow Ugandans and the international community, Laspnet joins the rest of the world to commemorate the International Human Rights Day, which we usually celebrate on the 10th of December. I join everyone to say thank you, especially the human rights activists, those that are in the trenches, those that have been victims of violation of human rights in different ways. We identify with you and pray that we shall continue to fight the cause. The human rights are a cornerstone of everyone's human well-being, and these are enshrined in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which is the cornerstone document. And therefore, as we celebrate this year's Human Rights Day, I would like us to reflect on the milestones, but also reflect on the challenges and look at the opportunities. Specifically for the government of Uganda and the law enforcement agents, the government has a duty to protect and promote human rights and to remember the international conventions under which we are state parties, but also the Ugandan Constitution, specifically Article 29, that gives a right to freedom of expression, association, and assembly. Of recent, we've seen this right being violated.
I think the most recent examples are the parliamentary corruption-related protests in July, where a number of citizens, really, normal citizens who are protesting corruption, were taken up. And yet this right to protest is central to assembly, it is central to expression. It is actually a form of civic participation. I can participate in governance by dissent, by protesting, with a view that my leaders or the government will get an appreciation of what I'm saying and probably work on it.
We have also seen scenarios of political activists being aligned before the court martial and sometimes apparently known to be hard for a period of long time, and as a result they have succumbed to pressure of pleading guilty to crimes probably they did not commit. We have also seen a recent case of Dr. Kizza Besigye, where it is allegedly he was abducted from Kenya and aligned before the court martial. All these are not good indicators. In addition, the courts of law are places where we are supposed to go and seek redress. The recent case of one of the Supreme Court justices fleeing into exile and claiming to be under threat is a cause to worry.
If you were to look at the current context of the country, particularly the terrain of human rights the past 2-3 years, you cannot rule out the siege that the state is having on the right to protest. And this right is both physical protest, where people come together, which is again guaranteed by the Constitution, in form of assembly, they come together, or in form of a procession, or the emerging online protest. Someone is behind a keyboard, he has a social media and protests against what he thinks is wrong. We are seeing the deployment of, again, the Public Order Management Act, which is misinterpreted. Unless there is a scale back by the state in using these laws, abusing them actually, we are seeing the terrain of civic space, both physical and online, being sieged. This of course means two things. One, citizens are likely to recoil from talking about what is hurting them, or we're also going to see increasingly self-censure. Once people retreat and they go underground, when they can't talk, when they're fearful of what is going to come out of their talk, you're breeding a very unnecessary situation, because it is that kind of citizen who is hurting and can't express himself that can spark in a very dangerous way. So what we think should be is to let people talk.
To the civil society, we should not tire. We are not opposition, but we are advisory. And so we should call upon the different entities and remind them of our constitution and remind them of our commitment. To our development partners, we should continue, where necessary, to impose sanctions on the individuals that are having the records of violation of rights, especially where we see areas of impunity, and also engage governments diplomatically to ensure that they protect and enforce human rights, so that we have a peaceful society that promotes and observes the rule of law for God and my country.